Hey guys, it's Kristen. It is May 26th, 2023, and it is obviously you can see that it's 3:59 p.m. here in Oklahoma. So, and hot, really hot and humid, disgusting. I am feeling fucking fantastic. I am okay. I'm doing something different. It's a different time, obviously, right? So I'm going to show a little bit of astrology. This is one of the apps that I like and that I use a lot for astrology to look up mine and others and different things like that. And then I'm going to pull up another one to show some other stuff later. Um, yeah, because I kind of want to show you know, some of this stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyways, quick update. I'll just do a little update. First off, let's do this first. I'm a little bit late today. I'm feeling great. Anyways, I have a gift. I got a gift, and it is so beautiful. It is a look at this amethyst. I'm about to do like the lighting on this, and it is just you can't see. It does not do its justice right now, but it will, and it's crazy. And then I've got this nice clear crystal quartz. I actually get like kind of bring it a little bit closer, but yeah, look at that shit. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And then I've got like a little baby one over there too. Yeah, hold on. I don't really know how to, this thing has like a lot. Oh, there it is. This is bright. Okay. Um, okay. Look at that. Like, look how beautiful that is. And I'm hopefully you can see it from there. Like what, like that. Oh shit. Not. I'm shaking. Yeah, so I just I it's stunning. And I have been, I don't know how to turn this off. I have been manifesting and doing techniques, trying little different things here and there. And plus, I've been working on myself because, I think I was talking about this the last time because I've been pretty busy. I've been really busy. I have not even had any time to do any videos. I've had to put other things first, especially my physical health and my family, because my youngest son Wolf had his tubes done and his adenoids taken out, and that was last Thursday. But I think the last video I did was like right before Mother's Day. So yeah, a lot's happened since then. A lot's happened since then, and I didn't realize that the last video that I did, it was actually because I said I think it was a year of when I first started my videos. It actually was that day that I did that video and posted it. It was exactly to a year to that date, and that's crazy. So yeah, I did not even plan that. It just happened that way. But yeah, I happened to, because I know I was talking about uh some health issues were coming up, I think last month. I want to say it was last month. Could have been maybe a little bit more before that. But nonetheless, I was kind of getting some like little bit of signs of some health problems. And yeah, so before I talk about that, because it's having me in this little screen here, I'm going to show real quick because I wanted to show what is happening right now, like right now for me in my chart, and to kind of like see the similarities of actually what's happening and kind of like explain. I wish I had a little, I guess I could point my mouse and like show you guys, I guess, what I'm talking about. But okay. I know, but I wish I could draw. Can I draw on it? I think I can draw on this, can I? I think I can. I don't know if I want to draw on it yet. We'll see. Okay. Okay. So whenever it's lit up here, especially with this app here, and anybody that is not really familiar with astrology or is just kind of like maybe a beginner, only knows just like a tiny bit. This app is probably going to be very confusing and maybe might get lost a little bit. That's okay. I'm just explaining just a little bit. I'm not really going to go very far into it. But if you are or have been learning and you want to grow more into learning even more in astrology, I would definitely get this app. I forgot what the app is called, honest. What is this app called? Oh, Time Nomad. That's what it's called. So get that. And then you can purchase like different things for like add-ons and stuff like that. So yeah, anyways. Okay. So what I've got here and what I'm showing, because I'm gonna like go down. So it says conjunction transits here. So all these that you see right here, all of those conjunctions I have right now going on in my chart, in my astrology chart. And the ones that are in red and like 0.3, and this one says like 1.0, this one says 0.4. So Mars conjunct my Chiron. So those mean those are hitting my chart really, really, really closely. And there might be some that are hitting it exact. So those are the transits that I am feeling the most out of all of these other ones here that aren't lit up, but I'm still feeling them, if that makes sense. And I know I've talked about in previous videos that I've been having this feeling, like good feeling, by the way, good feeling something big is about to happen in my life. And like something, like I can't explain it. And I know this is happening for a lot of people as well in their astrology. And that just depends on this, your chart, what house, everybody's chart's different. Nobody's is the same. Even a twin has a different chart than the other twin. Everybody has a different chart. Everything's different. So you can't, I can explain my chart, but you could have some of the same transits, but it could affect you in a completely different way than it's affecting me. So, but we do, share as a collective transits at the same time and sharing kind of the same energy a little bit in that aspect. And if you can understand what I'm getting at here. So yeah, anyways. Yeah, so I was talking about how I have just been feeling that something's been going on in the collective as well. And right now, we're almost to a point where we're going to get some answers, like some more answers. But right now, we're at this point where kind of a standstill. And a lot's still happening. It's just, this is a time right now where we don't need to be like freaking out. or tripping out or making kind of false illusions in your head or making things up. And I will kind of explain this after I show this in a minute. But here right now I have Mars conjunct my Chiron. If anybody doesn't know really a whole lot about astrology, Mars is the planet that rules. So Mars can mean a lot of things too. So Mars here, it'll actually probably pull it up here for you. I'll give you this information here. So yeah, you can read that, you can pause it and you can read it. And it gives you a little bit of an explanation. And that's why I like this too. If you're not that familiar with astrology, you might be a little bit, but you can learn through this app as well. But yeah. And then Chiron. And of course, I have Chiron in my second house, which is money, resources, your self-worth. Yeah. And so I've had issues. Oh my goodness. And then I can pull up my chart right here and it shows, it's lit up in yellow. So the Mars is right there in yellow. And then where's Chiron? Oh, it's all the way up here. So it's all the way right here. I don't know if you could see my mouse, but it's up there in Aries by my descendant. So, and it is in the 10th house? It's in the 10th house. No, it's not. It's in the 11th house. That's in the 11th house. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because everybody's Chiron right now and Aries is in the 11th house. Okay. So yeah, it's hitting exactly at 3 degrees and it's hitting my Chiron exact on Leo. Oh, interesting. Okay. So yeah, anyways, this transit, because I looked up a little bit earlier the transit that a lot of people who are healers can have this transit, or also people who can make great things happen or not. You can either choose. My nose is itchy. You can choose either way what you want to do with that or not. But I did some research on the Mars conjunct Chiron, and it had talked about how you're finding, like, this is a time I'm finding out like what my purpose is. And I kind of was like, okay, I thought, I was kind of upset because I was like, I've been also having, I don't know, my nose is so itchy. I've been having a lot of things come up, especially this last week, but also really this week. And it's been things, of course, that have been pulling up for me about, finances, resources, and also about men, because it's, sometimes with relationships, and I've had to balance myself and kind of check myself a little bit. And I'm realizing that exactly what this transit is right here, and what I just said with what the explanation is exactly what I am meant to do in this life. I am meant to help people take the less path traveled than I did to get to where they need to go. I am going to help people that have been having a problem finding their self-worth, or even if you don't even have any, or self-confidence. You've always had problems with, your keeping a job or any resources, financial abuse, anything that can be related to that. And then just, nose is so itchy. What is happening right now? Oh, so yeah. I was going through my birth chart, and I don't know why I didn't notice some things in there, because I've gone through my birth chart like many times. But I that's the one thing I love about astrology is you're always learning something new, like all the time. So it's always like this like little, it's like almost like a treasure hunt. You're like a little kid, you're like looking for the treasure. And that's kind of how I feel with astrology. It's always like I want to know a little bit more. And I get it. It's just, and then there's more to learn and more to learn. And I don't know, it's just fun. I'm a very intellectual. I'm a very intellectual person, and I love people who can be that way as well and capture my attention with things like this. It could be for anything, and they're knowledgeable and know that what they're talking about, and they're confident in what they're talking about. But anyways, yeah. So here we go. What is this? Oh yeah, here we go. So I have here Saturn conjunct by Midheaven. And right now I'm in this weird place too, because I still have Saturn in my 9th house, which Saturn right now is in Pisces. And my sun's in Pisces, and my Midheaven is in Pisces, which is all in the 10th house, by the way. And Saturn goes into my 10th house. I want to say it's in sometime November of this year. But Saturn is going to hit my Midheaven in like a week and a half or 2 weeks or something like that. And then I have Jupiter conjunct Moon. So these are really good transits here. And Saturn, anything that has to deal with Saturn in your Midheaven, whether it's square, conjunct, opposition, what is it? Sesquiquadrate, whatever you want to, anything though, like that, is highlighting it's highlighting something big in your career. And a lot of people who are very successful in their careers, like just born, just naturally successful, and even people who are famous or people who are just successful in general, have Saturn in their Midheaven. It can be conjunct, it could be square. So it's very interesting how before these come up, I've already get these feelings. But it's interesting though too that I'm having this one in the 9th house conjunct in my 10th house with my Midheaven. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays. I know I've done research online with this transit here, and there's people that always talk negative or positive. And yes, I totally understand. There are some transits that are known for not being good. There's some transits that are known for being really good. And then there's some transits that are just both or not or whatever. But I always tell people this. Everybody's chart's different. Like I said, just because somebody posts online that they had something horrible happened to them with this transit does not mean that that's going to happen to you. And so what I'm coming with is, and you have to take it in the way that you want to take it, because I'm taking it with my intuition and knowing that I'm going with the good feeling, because I've been having this good feeling and just good. And so that's where I'm taking it, and I'm not taking it that other way. So I just thought that was really interesting. And then I have here my Hygeia conjunct Venus. And Hygeia, people don't know. Hygeia, you can read that here. Like I said, you can pause. And then Venus, most people know what Venus is. And so let's see here. Is that 22 degrees? Yeah, so I've also been having some, like I said, I've been having some health issues recently, and especially that came up like I had one come up really bad on the 12th after it was like around 9 p.m. It got really bad, and then I had to go to urgent care on Saturday, and we'll get into that because it's going to go into kind of what's happening right now with all of that. But anyways, yeah, anything with Hygeia, if you want to know, is really important to look at. Whether it is, I look at it a lot for health. So if you are having health problems or just wondering, it can also mean good things too. Like, that also can come up for partnerships or relationships, working out. Like, since I've been starting to work out, I've been having a lot of Hygeia in my chart too. So that's been popping up in my chart. What else? But yeah, like I said, it's very important if you are wanting to know how your health affects you, because if you do have a lot of health problems, this is another thing too, because this has helped me with my health problems and knowing what transits really affect me. So I remember certain dates or certain time frames in the past, and I'll go and look and I will go, okay, it was in this house and this degree and this transit. And that helps to know if that ever comes back up, you can kind of be a little bit prepared. I'm not saying it would happen again or you would have, health issues again, but it is helpful. It's just helpful to know. And yeah. And then I have here, wait, what? I have Lilith conjunct Jupiter. Interesting. Hmm. And then, yeah, North Node conjunct my moon. Then right now, what's popping? What's popping right now is my part fortune conjunct my natal. And they're both in the seventh house. So part fortune, you can read it there. North Node. North Node is where you're heading and where you're going, where your destiny is. It's where you follow your true north. Part fortune is what I would call like success, lucky. Third house, 7. Okay. So I can explain this here. So here, you got part fortune here. Third house. Even though it says 7th house here. But if I look in the chart, it's telling me it's in the 3rd house. But yeah, anyways, but my part fortune's in my 3rd natally anyways. But what I was just I'm explaining here is part fortune, 3rd house. 3rd house is for communication, short traveling, like small trips, brothers, sisters, family. And then 7th house is partnerships, relationships, work, partnerships, business relationships, really, actually, I think it said it on there, didn't it? Yeah, House of Unions, relationships. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So it's cool if you look at it. The third house conjunct the seventh house. Third house, I'm speaking right now. Speaking North Node. I'm doing what I am. I'm doing my purpose right now. Destiny. Lit up. Cool, huh? Okay. Okay. So, and it's cool too doing this because I just wanted to show here. Whenever there's the midhaven here that shows up and some of my transits are popping off, this one's opposing my Neptune. But it's cool to see that because it's like affirming that I'm what's happening right now. I don't know. It's just that's what I've always been so I've just been so excited about. Oh, look, popping off more with astrology because I'm like, damn, like it's popping off and those events are happening right now. It's like, how is that even possible? How how? And so that's what's also made me really get into astrology because I'm like, it is such a important tool to use, not only to figure out who you are, but it helps you figure out how to get through certain things in your chart, to understand events happening in your life. Even you can do synastry and to understand, like with your partner or marriage partner or even business partner, you can pull that up with their information and you can, or child, whatever, and can look and say, oh, these are the things that we get along great in, and find the ones that, you go and, oh, these are the ones that we kind of struggle in, but that's fine. And know that there are definitely transits that are in charts with everybody, like friends, family, lovers, that vital to work on with that person. So it's just to me it's just fun. It's also fun. It's just cool to learn. And yeah, now it's hitting exactly at 0 degrees. And then I have here vertex, natal vertex. Vertex is really cool. Vertex is like basically, yeah, it just says it right there. How others view me. Fifth house. Hell yeah. Okay, so and then now we have Jupiter square Chiron, Neptune square ascendant, Chiron square Uranus, Chiron square Neptune, Eris. Yeah, so I've been having this Hygeia square Pluto recently. And squares are, people always want to say that they're really bad, but they are harder to deal with, but it's the energy's hitting you more. And it could be hard to deal with, but it doesn't have to be. It's just something that you are learning or trying to process or understand at the moment. But Hygeia, like I said before, it does a lot with health. You have a lot of health problems. You can pay attention to Hygeia as well as Pluto. Because I have Pluto in the sixth house, and sixth house has to deal with, oh, I can pull it up right here. It'll tell you right here. Yeah, so house responsibility and health again, caring for others. Basically, it has to deal with your health, caring for others. And it is squaring my ninth house, which is Interesting. So my Hygeia in my natal chart is actually in the 12th house. And 12th house is like house of karma, like unknown still. Stuff that you have maybe special talents in or can. But it definitely can bring issues, like unconscious issues. Ooh. Yeah, and see here, I have Pluto in my natal chart at 22 degrees in Scorpio in the 6th house. And anybody that knows astrology, and if you don't, I'm just let you know. I'm going to give you 2 degrees here that are difficult. They're difficult, but they're also transforming. And they also don't have to be difficult, but it is a difficult, there are 2 difficult degrees to learn from. And if you don't learn from them, they then become very difficult. So yeah, anyways, oh yeah, the 2 degrees, I'm just in my head. So yeah, the 2 degrees are 18 degrees and 22 degrees. And so 18 degrees, like I said, every degree has also different meanings. Like I said, it has different meanings, and it'll have a different meaning if it's in a certain planet, whatever planet that is. And it depends on where the planet is at, like what sign. And then not only that, then it's what is it aspecting to, and where's the aspect? And the same thing with that aspect. So there's a lot that goes with it. And also, I will say 22 degrees, people always say is known as like also the death degree. And it actually is. It's not every time though. There's only certain aspects that with those together with the 22 degrees is death. But there can be different meanings of what happens with the death. It could be like just a death and rebirth of like a tower moment, and you have that death. Okay. It could be like a death of letting something go. It can be a death of a family member, or actually a real death, or it could be someone sending death threats, So that is something to pay attention to. I hope you're not getting death threats, but I'm just saying, like, that is a degree to definitely pay attention to. And yeah. So both of those hitting both at 22 degrees has been a little bit of a struggle. Yeah. And then I also have Hygeia in square Hygeia here, the 9th and the 12th house. Yeah. So the 12th house here. Yeah. So you can read that. It's in 12th house. And then the one that I've been just dealing with for a while now is North Node square Chiron. And that doesn't mean that it's always a bad thing. North Node square Chiron. And I guess it just kind of depends on where it's aspected to and what house it's in. But if you look at it, and I know it's hard if you don't know astrology, because you'd be like, what the fuck, what does that mean? But I can look at it here and I'm like, that makes sense. So 2nd house, resources, materials, self-worth, all of that. My North Nodes, and right now it's in the 11th, it's in the 11th house of society, one's ambitions, with groups. What am I doing right now? I'm talking about self-worth. Also, I mean, I'm going to talk about more about that after this, but it's literally showing right here, like what I'm doing. I don't know. I just think that's just fucking cool. And my ascendant. So if anybody doesn't know what the ascendant is, the ascendant is your rising sign. It is how people see you. So how you project yourself to other people. People will say, oh, my son's in Pisces. So people would be like, oh, you're more like a Pisces. Yeah, I mean, you have your big three, but you also have way more shit than that. So I have my sun in Pisces, Taurus and Moon, and Gemini rising. But here, Gemini is the opposite of Pisces. So I have a hard time. It balances, but it doesn't, if that makes sense. It's like a opposites attract. And Gemini rising is well known for talking. We're talkers. So, and a lot of other things more than that, but I'm just giving you the, that's okay. So trines and sextiles in astrology are really nice transits. So those you want to really look at and get to know. Look at this here. I got Saturn, trine, my south node. Good shit. Good shit. Saturn here. Daddy Saturn. Daddy Saturn is he's not here to play games. He's not here to play games. He's here to tell you what to do and how you're supposed to do it. What do I got here? Okay, so hold on. Let me see if there's anything else I want to talk about on this. Besides, I was just trying to show a few of them that has been kind of going on. This one's cool too. So Saturn is trining sextiling my moon, the 9th and 11th house. And then it's also sextiling my north node in the 9th and 7th house. With Vesta, my sun, and my Juno. Oof, I got Hygeia here. Semi-square, north node. So semi-square is what I would say, it's not a square. It's not hitting as hard as a square, but it is like half a square is what I would say. But like I said, yeah, it's 45 degrees. So, I mean, I like almost failed geometry. I pretty much almost failed geometry in high school. I did not understand it. I just, plus I had a bad teacher though. Anyways, I think if I would have had a better teacher for that, I probably would have done a lot better. But if you're good at geometry, you would get astrology, no problem. But even though I didn't do very good in this, geometry, I still learned it. Like it's weird that this actually helped me learn like kind of like geometry. But yeah. Okay. And then sesquiquadrates. Sesquiquadrates are like double squares. They hit harder than a square. But like I said, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Mars is Sun and Juno. Yeah, so I mean, Sorry, I'm just looking and seeing where. Look at that. That's cool. So quintile. I've got my sun quintiling my heart fortune here. So yeah, quintiles are like what you work on. And just I mean, it explains it right there, but where's this at? 12th house? 12th house and third. Interesting. So yeah, I think it's cool here too, because then you see others that even though they're well, this one should be popping off, but I don't know. But this one, it's cool because it's showing Midhaven again. So here again, Mars, Midhaven. Okay. Here we go again. Look at that. Heart fortune, heart fortune. 7th house, third. Yeah. All right. So real quick, let me look. I'm gonna show you guys my natal chart real quick. Is it here? This one. Because I know I said like I was trying to find a like a chart that showed the height and aspect that I was trying to show the other day, and I like nothing would pull it up. So so hopefully you can see my mouse. I would assume you could, but so here, you see this? So from here, 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 and then go all the way over here to 7th house. And then you go all the way back to 11th house and go whoosh it to my IC, roots, childhood. That's a kite. And the best way for me to explain a kite, because there's not really a whole lot of people that talk about them, and it's weird, but the only way I can explain it is one, it looks like a kite, and two, they are special because you look at it as with anyone, with what you want to do in life, you know what you want to do, or even if you're doing it, you have a goal set or a purpose or something you strive for, ambition, and you go for it, right? For anything. And that's the thing, is it's the concept of how far can you go and how far are you willing to go. And I also say, like with the kites, is how high are you willing to fly that kite? And the higher that you fly that kite, the better you're going to be, right? Or you decide to let that kite crash. Or you could let that kite, whatever whatever kites do, Yeah. But yeah, no, that's how I've like had my life though, is, I've had kind of the opportunity to have times where I could choose to walk the right way or walk the other way that's not going to be good. And there has been times that I chose not the right way, but I also saved myself or was saved from my guides, the universe, God. Like, I always believe, and I know everybody's opinions are different. Believe what you want. I'm not here to tell you what you should and shouldn't believe. But I believe there is fate and destiny, and that like you can't undo that. Like there's no stopping that. So yes, you could have a good chart, and let's say your chart looks great, and it's like, let's say it's like a chart to be successful. Just because you have a good chart and it shows like you could be successful or really big in society does not mean that that's what will happen. Because it doesn't just, it's not just handed to you. There may be a few people, very, 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 very few people who are fortunate enough to maybe it does just somehow land in their lap. But most of the time, if not all the time, you have to work for it. You have to work hard for it. And you have to want it. You actually have to want it, and you actually have to want to. And then there's a way to go by how you're doing it. If you're just doing it because you want to fill your ego, you're fucked. Sorry, but okay. I did want to show here. Look at my zodiac first. See, like I said, every planet has different meanings. So let's say, like I said, I'll give you this right here. Mercury. Mercury is for speaking. So Mercury is in Aries for me, and it's in my 10th house, my career. So whether or not you have it in the 10th house, whatever house, you can pay attention to what sign. And goodness. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know it gave me this. Okay, so a lot of people know, yeah, a lot of people know that Aries is go-getter. Aries is really hot-headed too sometimes, and stubborn. There's a lot. I had just, yeah, energy, action generator. There we go. Yeah, there it goes. It's giving me it right, all right here. You can read it there. But uh all of this has helped me understand. So if you ever are going and looking at your chart yourself, and honestly, if you want me to look at your chart, you can, you know, you can go to my, I have a, what is it? I have my link tree up, and you can pay to get a reading. So I can explain all of these things to you. But yeah, anyways, Mercury and Aries explains me, basically. Explains why I'm so, I'm very open with my speech. Sometimes I wouldn't say I'm loud. I only get really loud when I'm excited. But even then I'm not that loud. Uh I'm just very determined. I can be stubborn. But I can be very hot-headed with my words, and impulsive, and lash out. Like anger, that's what the word is coming out, anger. And I have worked on this for many years because I knew that I needed to watch how I speak. I'm very blunt, and sometimes I don't realize that I'm saying things that are maybe offending other people. And yeah, you know, but mainly it's for if somebody says something that's made me mad or they've made me mad, uh, you don't want to see the blow up. But then again, I don't really blow up. Like I used to a lot in my past, like definitely my teenage years, but uh maybe younger 20s, but most of the time I'm fucking chill. I'm just not, I just don't, I, that's one thing too, though. I don't want all that energy. I just want to chill. And you see that? You see why I want to just chill? Here you go. Taurus moon. Because we're in Taurus season right now. So you know what that means? It means eat that ice cream and pizza. Eat that fucking chocolate. You know, melt some of that chocolate. Have fun with it in the bedroom. No, but really. Enjoy pleasures. Uh the feeling. It's all of it. And you know what's cool here is I'll show you here. My moon is exalted in Taurus, which is yeah. So I was reading all that. So, anyways, my moon is in the 11th house. 11th house is where it's one of the best placements you can have for society wise. So that is really good to have. But no, I was going to say with Taurus. I don't even remember what I was going to say with Taurus. Oh, yeah, Taurus, sorry. And it's in my Hygeia here. I have, this is really hard to explain unless you deal with this or kind of. So I'm going to try to explain it the best way I can. I have always been aware of the other side, like other dimensions. Always been aware that there's other people around, other, like I can feel the collective energy. I can feel someone else's energy that's next to me. I can feel every single thing. People may say, oh, that's impossible. Oh, yeah, right. And even when I go into a room, I can feel immediately the energy of that room. So if the energy is really heavy, then it's harder for me to work with, but it is more so than not where, because I am a healer and I have more gifts than what I realized I had, that I'm still learning how to bring them up and how to work with them and tame them basically. But I can come in a room that is heavy and be the one to change it. Or I change it to benefit for those people and I take it. So that energy comes right back to me. So can you imagine it just like, like a magnet, and that negative or whatever's going on is just, and then if I don't give myself space just alone and by myself and take the time to get all of that off of me and get back into just my space, that's when I lose myself. So I will think the feelings that I'm having is mine, but they're not, and the things that are going on is not mine. And that may not even make any sense to some people, but also not even that, just that. But I'm also so in tune with my body, like inside presently, that I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even know how to explain this. It's just, I already know what's going on before anybody else does, I guess. But I don't know how to even make that make sense, but it's just more of, I am very well aware of all everything going around, everything. So all of that is can sometimes be too much, or sometimes not knowing how to direct it. But that's just because I didn't know, and I was never around anybody to help me with that. And it's just been all a learning process. And and with this video, I wasn't even trying to, I don't want to be talking about just myself. I'm just trying to do a different video to show you astrology. I'm actually showing you here, and I'm showing you my chart because I don't want to pull up somebody else's without asking them. So yeah, there's my rising in Gemini. And I got Lilith in my south node here. Cancer. What's cool here? What's cool here? I'll show you. I have Leo here. And I have my part fortune, my Chiron. My Chiron, though, is in the second house. So remember, resources, finances, self-esteem, self-worth. My part fortune, if you can see, but I'll pull it right here. My part fortune is actually in my third house, which is like speaking. You can pull up here, third house. Did it pull up the third house? No, it didn't. Whatever. And then Leo. Leo is, everybody knows what Leo. Leo is the sun. Leo is, yeah, I mean, that's just how to explain it. Leo's the sun, a lion, a roars, it's the shit, I don't know what you really want me to say, what else, but it's interesting if you look at it, because I have always known that like I was meant for something in this life, but I didn't know what it was. I thought when I was younger that it was dance. And so whenever I went and it landed in my lap, which I'm pretty sure I manifested that. Actually, I know I did. it came in my life, like knocked on my door. I didn't even have to do anything, which is crazy. I mean, it honestly is. Like, I've explained this kind of before in other videos. I don't even remember what video, but so yeah, it happened. And yeah, so I got injured. And after I got injured, I just kind of was lost, because now I'm like, I don't know what else I want to do, because I thought that's what I was meant to do, and that was where I was going. And I kind of just got lost at that point in my life. And that was a time where I was having problems at home, like major problems. And so I was 15, and that's when I moved out, and I went to go live with my best friend in Arizona. And it gave me some time to collect myself, and to, I was it was kind of like running away, I was running away, but I was like, oh, I'm not dancing anymore. And it's funny, I go over there to Arizona, and I'm signing up for classes, and the lady's like, oh, we have dance. You can actually do dance class, and you can get credit for it. I'm like, what? Seriously? Like, so I can do dance instead of like PE or art? And she's like, yeah, you can do dance class. And I mean, it was just like, I couldn't get away from it. It didn't matter. And so I got back into dance and moved back to Oklahoma. And that's when I became even more lost, because I I just didn't know. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And then, now I'm in junior high, and not junior high, a junior in high school. And people are still talking then, like what college they want to go to, what they want to do. And I already knew, I've always known I didn't want to ever do anything like what everybody else does. And it's not because I want to be a rebel or I want to be unique and different. I already know I'm like that. It's not I mean, look at this. Look at all this Aquarius here. Venus, Mars, Saturn, Icarus, Bimoon. I mean, I already know I'm fucking different. You can't I mean, you can't deny that shit. It's just who I am. And it's just it's like I already knew that system, and that social, that matrix. I already knew. I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, none of that sounds fun. It doesn't sound exciting. And I just knew I wanted to do something that I loved, that I felt I was going to be good at, and I love to do. I never would have thought speaking would be one of my aspects. Never thought that ever, ever. And people may say, like, why would you ever think that? Because, I did dance. I played the flute for many years. So I performed, and I performed a lot on stage and on fields. And yeah, so I've performed a lot in front of people, but I have never like speak, you know what I mean? So, and I tried cheerleading, and I didn't like it. And maybe it's because my Taurus moon, but just loud, like being really loud and yelling. It's not me. I don't express like that, I guess. It's the way of the expression of why I love to dance so fucking much was because dance was my way of expressing how I felt and what was inside that either needed to come out or be released. That was my way of expressing myself. But at the time, when I lost what I thought I lost dance or thought that it was going to be in this place, I just didn't see it that way. I didn't look at it that way, I guess, because sometimes things happen to us. We don't realize how narrow minded we become and think that either the world is against us or that, kind of victim, but, and I'll tell you this, I've had a lot of shit where it feels like I am always bashing my head up against the wall, but I still get through it. Whether or not I'm bashing it up against the wall or I'm blowing it up or climbing it or, a friend's helping me get through it. It's just, we all have different things that we go through in life, and it's just more of I've had to learn to not be the victim, because I lived with people like that. And like I said, this is something I had to learn. Like this is my path in my life and what I had to learn. So I had to get that experience so I can understand. But I didn't have anybody around me to know any better or to grow in a different place or way. And so I was so used to living in this self-sabotage, I will say low vibrational, but I digress in that. But victimhood, pity party a lot. And I can admit that. Pisces, yeah. But and of course, in the past, when somebody would come bring something up to me and like tell me, I would be like, what the fuck? And I would get pissed. I would not, and then I would fight them. And now I'm thinking back, I just wasn't awake. I didn't know. And that's the other thing too, is be patient with people and everyone, because that's the other thing is we all think we're doing the right thing too, and it depends on what it is, or we think we're saying the right thing, or we're doing the right thing, or whatever. And maybe some people are not, and they know that. But either way, most of the time we think we're doing the right thing. And if people can see that you're not, or that the person isn't, it's not your job to help them through that. It is your job to, just have them, acknowledge it and tell them, but you don't have to fix it. You don't have to, keep telling them about it. But that's the other thing is I've also had to learn to not get so upset or hurt by others, because that's the other thing is think we're doing the right thing, but you're just not aware. And so you could come off to somebody and tell them that, hey, you're always doing this and you're always playing victim, or you come off and you're always doing this, this, and this. And it's the same pattern. Well, if they're not aware to that pattern, yes, bringing it up they might look at it. But if they're unaware and they're not awake, they're going to most likely see it their way and how they always been. But that's the other thing is I'm here to teach people to not do what I did, to help others awake and love yourself, even the parts that, even the parts that you think are not good or great, or even the parts that you don't like. Let's say you don't like them. Learn to love them, because all of that makes you, you. And understand that not everyone is going to like you. Not everyone is going to love you. And not everyone is going to agree with you. And not everyone is going to stay with you. And that's been one of my hardest lessons, because I am such a giver and lover and just want to it's hard to explain. It's so hard to explain. I just want to create. It doesn't matter what it is, but I want to do things that I love. And then I also want to love other people, but also the people that love me. I want to create with those people that I love, that love me, and create together and make creativity of whatever it is that we both love and make us happy. And that's friends, family, lovers, and share dreams and share our deepest desires and passions. And it's hard to get out. And like all of it, I don't even know how to even say it, but all of it. I'm a person who is, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to give you me. And that's it. Like I can't be somebody else. I feel like I sometimes would try, or sometimes would fight it. But even then, I had always had, issues with relationships in general. And like I said, it was because I had no self-worth and no self-love. And I did not love myself at all. At all. I would pick every part of me that was not that it didn't matter what it was. I would pick myself apart. But not even just that. I also, for some reason, thought I because of some things that I did in the past or was doing, it didn't matter, but I would use that as I would use that and balance it as, oh, well, then I'm only good enough to deserve this because I've done this, this, and this. Or I'm trying to give explanations here and examples. What I know there are a few other things, but I held myself back for a long time. And I didn't know I was being tested, especially during high school, but even after that, I am supposed to know myself and listen to my intuition and go towards that. And if somebody thinks otherwise, but I know deep down that's not true, then I'm not following the right path. And it happened because of all of that. And especially as a teenager, you're trying to find out who you are. And it's not like I didn't have like bad friends. I just had trouble making friends. I had trouble keeping friends. I could never understand why I couldn't keep friends. And like I said, I have one best friend, but I couldn't understand what was wrong with me. I always thought that there was something wrong with me. And then it just kept validating. But it was because of the way that I literally thought something was wrong with me. So people saw me that way. And I can't even explain to you. I can't even explain how sad, like, and how bad I thought of myself and how I picked apart and I will say there were times that I wasn't always picking myself apart. I could sit there and say, yeah, I look really good. But there was still something missing that I couldn't understand. And I tried to find that through relationships. I thought that I could find that for some reason through relationships. And that is somewhat true, but not in the way that I thought it should be. Because relationships, especially like partnerships, are extremely vital. Because one, it's in my North Node, but it's extremely vital for me to learn from people. And I have to, You know, people always talk about self-care and, oh, I got to be by myself. Not everybody is meant like that. And yes, I like my alone time. Like I love my space. Like I cannot, I'm sorry, I can't be with somebody who is every day. I mean, I don't think I can, but I like my alone time. I like to have my time alone too. Like I have to have my freedom. Like and that just because I want my freedom does not mean that I can't have a relationship or be with somebody. It's just I have to be my own person. I have to have my own things. And that's it. Like it's not that big of a deal, but everybody does things differently. And it's the fact that even with bad relationships, because I've struggled with relationships, but not anymore. I've struggled with them in the past because I didn't know myself. I didn't love myself. I didn't have enough. I was looking for my partners to fill whatever was missing. And then realize that it was me. And I would see these characteristics and these traits that I like inspire me from a partner. And usually that's why I go for them, you know, and because they're pretty much like we're mirroring most of the time. Well, actually, yeah, we're mirroring because it's like you have the same traits as me, characteristics, and it's just like what they have these things that I inspire to all like either grow from or open up to. And not knowing that those things that I think I don't have or I'm not open up to yet, like I already have them in myself already. And that I didn't need that person to have all that or become that. But I needed that person and those people. I needed all those things to happen because if none of those things happen and certain things in my life didn't happen, I would not be here. I would not be doing this. I would not even be in a good place in my life right now. And I'm telling you right now, with the astrology, don't trip out. Know that everything is working. Everything's working the way that it should. And I know we're all feeling a little bit, you know, edgy, a little bit restless. But, and there are certain things like right now, I'm like in this space where I'm like there's like one foot in the door, one out. And it's not like that. I have been going through this journey since 2018. And I've had exponential growth since my mom passed away last year. And I'm almost in this place of fully stepping in to releasing everything that was. Because I will say this, because like I said, I suffered through a lot of health issues. If you go through other previous videos
And I'm going to talk about the big moment with my septic shock. I'm going to talk about all of that in detail with astrology on Saturday. But I've struggled with health issues and didn't really connect it with the self-worth or how I was thinking and my mindset. And for a long time, like I said, I stayed in this place in my life where I was addicted to victim and just addicted to that chaos in life and shit happening. So when things are steady, I would start really feeling like it was really uncomfortable, because for a long time I have not ever felt this. This is the first time I think ever I have felt like peace or comfortable, like not chaos. And with all the astrology going on, but also I will say this, I do things for protection, and like I said, I love my crystals, and I love all of that. These are things I'm still learning into and interested in. But I usually get like a bowl of water, salt, put it under my bed, and I started feeling negativity sent to me, and started feeling really heavy, and I couldn't really understand where it was coming from. And because I was doing really good, I was going to gym every day. I was doing really good. And I checked under my bed, and the bowl is like crystallized all over. I've never seen this. I've never seen this before. So I immediately knew that something was up. So I've been speaking with my team, and I used to be the one that would come out if I was being attacked, and would more than just say fuck around and find out. But that's not me anymore. And I'm not the Kristen that people knew anymore. And it's been really hard to also let that old Kristen go, because it's like it's a I don't know why it's so hard, but I love this. I love myself now. I cried, like I actually cried about it last night. This is the first time I've ever like cried about being happy. It might sound sad, but yeah, like this is the first time like I actually cried because I was happy instead of being sad. And I just want people to know, if you're ever dealing with anything, doesn't matter what it is, that there are still going to be times you're going to go through things in life, because there's a balance. There's always a balance of light and dark and good and bad. Not everything in your life is always going to be perfect or great, because it's always got a balance. So there's going to be things that happen in your life. It's just the way that you got to go through them and look at them. And when I started having health problems, and it just, like I said, it just popped up last, like May 12th. So like I said, out of nowhere, I started feeling really, really, really ill. And I realized I started going into my head like I did in the past. Like what I would do is I would go into my head and I would start making stories. So I would do is go, oh, I've had this feeling before, or I've had this happen before in the past. So I go, so it's either this situation, that situation, or this. Put it in my head and said, it's got to either be this, this, or this. And then I started to get upset. I started to fear. And then immediately after that, I get sick. I get infection. And it took me a little bit, like the next day, because I also like spewed it on someone. I spewed it on. Like, and then I realized, oh, that was not good. I should have not done that. And it's a learning process. Like, that was great for me to know and figure it out the next day. Amazing. Actually, no, I think I figured it out like hours later, but then, I had to wait till next day. But either ways, I apologized and I was like, hey, I am sorry that I did that. And I put that on you and gave it to you. And I explained what was going on, and like, hey, I'm so used to this and doing this that it was just a reaction. It was like almost like a subconscious thing that but I realized and I took action and care. And then I also apologized to myself, because I know that I'm not going to blame myself for that. We all make mistakes. We're going to continue, we all are going to continue to deal with our own wounds and healing for the rest of the time we're alive. So, I apologize to myself. Some people may think this is weird, but I went and looked in the mirror and I apologized to myself and said, it's okay. Like, it's okay. And I understand why you did that, because it was such a pattern, and it was something that I said, not anymore though. And it's still been a little bit of a struggle, little bit. But like I said, this is something I'm learning and something I am tweaking around with to see what's working, what's not, but if anybody, and I'm not even assuming, but like I said, I just know that if you are talking or sending me stuff, no matter what it is, but please don't. But if you still want to, that's up to you. I wouldn't advise that, but I just know that last thing I wanted to talk about, because it goes with all this, is I actually have, like someone's talking about crystals, I actually have my pendant here because like I went to, I think it was like 2 years ago. So this one called me. Like I already knew. I walked in and I saw it. I was like, that one's mine. And you can ask it if it's yours or not. Like, guys, watch. Can you show me yes, please? Can you show me no? Thank you. This right here, I use to speak to whoever I need to. You can speak to angels, you can speak to spirit guides, you can speak to family, friends, whoever that's passed on the other side. If you don't believe in that, each your own. But what I always do, and everybody's different, is I will always open up with a prayer and make sure that's protected before I ask questions, make sure I'm protected. But I'll always do that first. I'll ask yes and no. Show me yes and no, please. And then I will ask, am I protected right now as I ask these questions? And watch out for that. But I've never had a no. So last night, I get on and I ask, and I'm like, okay, is this an angel I'm talking to? No. Is this a spirit guide I'm talking to? No. Is this a ancestor I'm talking? No. And I'm like, okay, is this a family member? Yes. I'm like, okay. Is this mom? Yes. My mom's only come through 2 other times, and she's only come through for a limited time, like maybe 3 and maybe 5 minutes at the most. This was like 1 in the morning, or one, I think it was like 1:30 in the morning, but either way, I've never had this happen because I've used this pendant quite a few times. And it's always like that. It's always like this, you know, just like that. Like nothing crazy. My mom was doing that, And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play with this. I'm gonna have fun. Because like if this is my mom, like, hello, like we're gonna have a good time, So I'm asking my mom some questions, and it's just like with certain questions, I don't remember I said like a joke, and I was like, oh my God, because what she did, she started doing like this, like really, like I'm not kidding, it was like this. I've never seen in some, I've never had that. She started doing that, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so funny, mom. I was like, you're being so silly. And she then kept doing it like even bigger. And I'm like, and it was for certain questions where I wish I could tell you, but it's personal. It's just like, it was the most hilarious connection and fun. I don't even know how to explain it. And then what's weird is I started to hear music, like a very low, like I was hearing some music. I'm like, and there was no music playing. It was like silent, but I was hearing music, and it sounded like Katy Perry, or I think the first one was Katy Perry, and then the second one, Avenged Sevenfold. Okay. Yeah. So it was Katy Perry. And I asked my, I was like, Katy Perry song? And I just, because it was like, it was so low. And so, anyways, I asked my mom, like, are you listening I was like, are you listening to music right now? She's like, yeah. I'm like, am I really hearing this? Like, am I, yeah. And I said, okay. And then I all of a sudden start hearing Avenged Sevenfold. And I'm like, are you listening to Avenged Sevenfold, Mom? Yeah. I'm like, the fuck? I was like, okay. I was like, get it. Like, I was like, so you can listen to music on the other side. She's like, yeah. And then she's like, I was like, oh, so I was like, so you're partying and rocking the fuck out on the other side. And so what she starts doing is, I'm not kidding. I probably can't even do it on my own. She starts making this thing like this. She starts making it dance. I am not kidding. It was that, but like, I can't even do it on my own. It was the craziest experience I have ever had from the other side. Like I fucking enjoyed it. Like it was fun. And it's funny because if you don't believe it, whatever, but it's funny because I knew it was my mom because it's just her personality. When I started joking and she was, and especially the way I was talking and the way it's just, it was her personality completely. Like there was no, like, I just can't even explain. It was the most incredible experience. And so I had to say this on here because uh, it was crazy. And it's such a blessing that even though my mom is not here, she's still here and I can still communicate with her. And yes, I wish she was here in the physical. And, you know, it was just a good time. I cried a few times, because it's healing. It's so, for me, it's so healing. That is such a healing thing for me to be able to use that and be able to talk with my mom. I know my mom's here. My mom will make it known. Like I said, she'll like knock on my nightstand. She turns on my phone. But yeah, it's just an amazing thing. And so, yeah, I'm going to do another video on Saturday. I have so much more to talk about. And I, like I said, I've just been so busy. I've had so much going on that it has just been nonstop to where I've had to choose certain things that I wanted to do a video, but I just didn't have the time. My kids, I got to take care of my kids. And there's times where even I couldn't even go to the gym. I didn't even have time to go to the gym. Like I'm so busy doing other things that I can't do everything at once. And that's the thing too right now. It's okay if you can't do everything or you haven't been able to do what you haven't been able to do everything you want, or maybe it's frustrating. I understand. But I've had to compromise. I've had to say, okay, well, I can't do this today. So because of this, that, and that, or I choose certain things because if I needed the time to relax or whatever it is, other than like going to the gym or even or just taking a nap instead of going to the gym, because that's what I needed, whatever it is, do what feels good. Don't do something because you feel like you have to, or you're running like a robot. Like, don't do that because it's just not like, learn to breathe, accept that sometimes in life things are like right now, my fucking life is chaotic right now. Not in a bad way, but it's just there's so much going on that I can't do everything that I want in that day. So I just am like, well, I'll get to that when I can get to it. And so I'm telling you right now, just sit back, grab your favorite drink, whatever it is. Mine's soda. So grab your favorite drink, eat some ice cream, chocolate, have some fun, live life and don't fucking trip. Like, don't freak out. I know right now a lot of people freaking out, get mad and shit. And it's like, it'll be all right. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's cool. We're good. We're good. Even if things are, or you feel like everything is not good, everything's good. Know that. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody for watching this today, and I will be back. I mean, I really should be back tomorrow. If not Sunday, but yeah, I guess I've been really busy, but thank you so much for watching this. If you got through all of this, I appreciate it. Yeah. So have a good, was it Friday? Yep. Have a good Friday. Bye. Love you guys.